We are in the pure speculation and headlines portion of the offense, which will or of the off season, pardon me, which will last, unfortunately, far too long. And we have today an article from NFL.com by a writer with the coolest name I have ever heard. In this article, the article in question raises one good point for the Chiefs offense, which gets even better for Chiefs fans when you think a little bit further than where the article cares to go, and then one negative or not so great point for the Chiefs offense, one risk, one worry for the Chiefs offense, which, guys, I got to tell you, it's not a worry, it's not a risk, it's a nothing burger. So let's get into things here. In an article titled NFL's Top 10 Offenses in 2024, 49ers Chiefs headline My Predictions, Don't Sleep on Packers, Texans, Colts by Gennaro Felice on NFL.com, we get the following signature strength of the Kansas City Chiefs offense. Quote, the best player in football. Fortune favors the bold, and Kansas City hit the jackpot with an audacious trade for Patrick Mahomes in the 2017 NFL Draft. KC gave up a third-round pick and a future first-rounder to jump from 27 to number 10 and take the Texas Tech gunslinger. Obviously, that deal turned out to be highway robbery for the Chiefs. In hindsight, the monetary value of that move for the Chiefs and the city of Kansas City, something we've talked about on this channel, is something akin to the gross domestic product of a small nation. It was a legitimate league changer. In the 6 seasons since Mahomes took the starting reins, the Chiefs have gone to 6 AFC championship games and 4 Super Bowls, winning 3 Lombardi trophies in the process. Unsurprisingly, Kansas City has also led the NFL in offensive scoring by nearly 2 whole points during this span, 27.1 points per game, with Dallas ranking second at 25.3. Following an uneven 2023 regular season that saw Mahomes finish outside the top 5 in passing yards and passing touchdowns, and inherently had the Chiefs rank 14th at 21 offensive points per game, I have a feeling Andy Reid will come out firing in 2024. Now, there's a couple things that need to be maybe mentioned here in passing. At least the first thing, it is noted that the Kansas City Chiefs during that time have a 27.1 points per game average. Guys, the article then goes on to say that last season the Chiefs had a 21 point per game average. That is a massive downgrade from the norm, meaning that had the Kansas City Chiefs offense been even a shade of what it had been prior to last season, they would be head and shoulders above other offenses. But here's the scariest thing about this part of this article. I'm gonna be a little judgmental. I'm gonna be a little bit passive aggressive, perhaps, because I consider myself a writer as well. There's no need for all of the backstory here. There's no need to write this article in that way. But if you choose to write this article in that way, basically by giving the entire history of Patrick Mahomes' career and how the Chiefs got him, despite the fact that Patrick Mahomes is not a third-year player. Patrick Mahomes is entering his 7th season as a starter, 8th season as a pro. So why revisit the past that much? But if you do indeed want to make that the focus of this portion of your article, probably it's also worth mentioning the fact that, yeah, the Kansas City Chiefs have been to 6 consecutive AFC championships, 4 of the last 5 Super Bowls, winning 3 of them. But Patrick Mahomes is just now entering what is likely to be the prime of his career. Quarterbacks' primes are not like running backs. It's not like a wide receiver. A quarterback's prime is considerably later than those positions because what he has is the climax of his physical capabilities and his knowledge of the game. As his career goes on, he will learn more about football, but his arm strength will wane. As he goes on, he will be able to read defenses better, but his ability to evade them will diminish. Patrick Mahomes is not entering those seasons of his career. Patrick Mahomes is entering the prime of his career. Entering the prime of his career. And there was an interesting soundbite from Tom Brady, actually. I believe it was this offseason. He was asked to comment on what it was that he saw around the NFL with different quarterbacks, etc. And he said something to the effect of, I see a lot of mediocrity. And guys, I think he's right. I hate to agree with Tom Brady. I really do, and I really hate how funny Tom Brady has become since his retirement. But there is a lot of mediocrity across the NFL. We have seen this offseason, and I think it goes back about 2 years, if I am remembering this correctly. A lot of comparisons between Patrick Mahomes and Dak Prescott. Oh, those Cowboys have scored 25.3 points per game during this time period where the Chiefs have scored 27.1. The Cowboys are second overall, don't you know? Dak Prescott does not hold a candle to Patrick Mahomes. I don't care what anyone else says. I've seen the football games. I don't care what a stat here and there will tell you. I've seen the football games. I don't care what regular season records will tell you. I've watched the playoffs. So when Tom Brady comes out and not even a veiled attack, just outright assaults the honor of NFL quarterbacks today, guys, I think he's right. You go back a decade, quarterbacks didn't have all of the opportunities that they do. If they were going to be something, if they were going to be someone, if they were going to do something, they had to win football games. That was what they were paid to do. Now you have someone like, and I don't mean to pick on him in particular, but Kyler Murray is being touted as one of the top quarterbacks. I can't remember the last great pass I saw Kyler Murray throw. He's got some really good scrambles. He's got some really entertaining runs. You've got the whole meme of him running like an angry toddler on YouTube. Look it up if you haven't. It's hilarious. Guys, I can't remember the last time Kyler Murray made me go, wow. Just can't remember it. Aaron Rodgers, whether you love him or hate him, he has the second most talented arm in the NFL. It's been a while for Aaron, too, and I don't just mean because of the injury last season. I mean, he made some throws in that MVP season, but that last MVP season of his was kind of a toss-up, right? There's no Peyton Manning besides Patrick Mahomes. There's no Tom Brady besides Patrick Mahomes. So I don't know where the greatness is or where it's going to come from. Anyway, the second point in this article is a worry for the Kansas City Chiefs, worrying weakness. We're going to get into this as well. Chemistry questions at wide receiver. Quote, dealing with multiple injuries and potentially just one of the effects of aging, Travis Kelce fell short of 1,000 yards receiving for the first time since 2015. Without the tight end playing at an all-pro level, the burden fell on Kansas City's receivers to produce. Most failed to answer the bell. The lone bright spot was rookie Rashee Rice, who really came in on the back half of the year, seemingly setting himself up for a full breakout in 2024, but now Rice's status is up in the air following a car racing crash in April that could result in a suspension under the NFL's personal conduct policy. On the plus side, the Chiefs added a pair of explosive receivers this offseason, free agent signee Marquise Brown and first-round pick Xavier Worthy. Though both are small, Brown and Worthy possess the kind of blazing speed that can stretch a defense beyond its limits, which is something the back-to-back Super Bowl champs have struggled to do since trading Tyreek Hill. How quickly can the two newbies gain a rapport with Mahomes? How much could a suspension impact Rice's sophomore campaign? Here's the deal with this. Will they have to build chemistry with Patrick Mahomes? Nope. How many times now have we seen Patrick Mahomes have a different leading and number 2 wide receiver over the past few seasons? We can go back. Tyreek Hill turned into Juju Smith-Schuster. Not a whole lot of similarities in their game. Juju Smith-Schuster was traded on the depth chart for maybe Rashee Rice. It's hard to tell who the number 1 wide receiver was early in last year's contest. Now, there's Hollywood Brown. Now, I'm going to ask, I believe Hollywood Brown is going to be the number 1 target for the Chiefs this season. I'm going to ask you, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. If I were to give you the option of Juju Smith-Schuster, rookie wide receiver, Rashee Rice, his rookie season, Rashee Rice, or Hollywood Brown, which of those 3 would you choose to be your number 1 wide receiver? I think, in my opinion, it would be Hollywood Brown. I'm not saying Rashee Rice overall. I'm not saying Rashee Rice next season. I'm saying Rashee Rice, week 1, snap 1 of his NFL career versus Hollywood Brown. I'm saying Hollywood Brown versus Juju Smith-Schuster. I think Hollywood Brown is undoubtedly the most talented wide receiver that Patrick Mahomes has started the season with in recent memory. So, no, I don't think it's all that important I don't think it's all that vital that there be chemistry between them, because guys like Hollywood Brown are going to figure it out. Guys like Patrick Mahomes are going to figure it out. We watched Patrick Mahomes take Rashee Rice by the hand, essentially, and walk him through his rookie season until it ended up that Rashee Rice was a number 1 wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs. We watched that. So this article is saying how, the Chiefs will have the number 2 offense in the NFL. They had the 49ers number 1. Okay, I can respect it. The Chiefs will have the number 2 offense in the NFL this season, projecting, forecasting, prognosticating the fact. Well, the reason for that, they stated, the number 1 reason, the number 1 strength of the offense is the best player in football, failed to mention that he's going into his prime. Failed to mention that he's just entering what prime means for a quarterback in the National Football League. The number 1 worry that there's no chemistry between Patrick Mahomes and his number 1 and maybe number 2 wide receiver with Xavier Worthy, especially if we're looking at early in the season when Rashee Rice is likely to be absent from the field for the Kansas City Chiefs. Well, that's not a worry. Patrick Mahomes is old hat at this. Patrick Mahomes has done this time and time again. So I would ask our author with the really cool name, would you like to reconsider and put the Kansas City Chiefs where they belong at your preseason number 1 offensive ranking. That's all I have for this video. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans. If you find yourself here by chance but not design, consider hitting the subscribe button to stick around for more Chiefs content in the future. And as always, I hope to have you back for the next one.